What's going on, everybody? Nick Saka here, and in this video I'm going to talk about how my team and I sold 750 items, which is about $540,000 in premium in the last 2 months. It is, at the time of this recording, it is November 16th, 2023, and we have had a monstrous record-breaking, like our best month ever that we've ever had in September 2023. As well as another follow-up amazing month, which totaled out to be, an amazing 2 months. And so in this video, I'm going to share a little bit about how we were able to make that happen. So if you do get some value from this video, you got to do me a favor and hit that like button, comment, and share, and follow me on my social media platforms. Also, I just dropped a course on how I started and scaled my insurance agency from zero, from scratch, all the way to 18 million over the last 7 years. And so I'd love for you to learn more about it, more details in the caption, and that can help you either start or scale your agency just as we have done. So, 750 items over the last 2 months. I'll first start by saying that I remember, a few years ago when I would see people posting these $250,000 months, and I used to think, like, how, bro? Like, how are you writing $250,000 in premium in 1 month? That's amazing. And I used to feel like I was just so far away from that. Like, man, like, what are these guys doing, And I'll tell you that before I go into how we've been able to do this, I want to give you a lot of context, because context is going to make you feel a lot better about where you're currently at in your journey and what it's going to take to scale up to that. And so I'll start by saying that we are an $18 million agency. Over the last 7 years, I started scratch, and we have grown both organically and through acquisitions. Just earlier this year, July, I purchased an agency, a $4 million book in Oregon that has allowed us to sell and basically sell in multiple states. So now I'm able to sell not only in Nevada, but Oregon and Washington. And so it's expanded that net where we can, reach more people and serve more people. And not just by leads and market just in Nevada, but so that's one reason. Another reason is I've got a large team. My team floats anywhere between 18 to 22 employees. The breakdown is I have 3 managers and a director of operations, a sales manager, and a customer service manager. I have anywhere between, I try to keep between 6 and 8 LSPs, producers, on my team at all times, and that's not easy, right? You got to always be hiring to find these people because there's attrition. I've got 3 telemarketers, in-house telemarketers that call on all of our data that I've accumulated over the last 7 years. I've been buying data leads since my first year, and I have 6 service staff to help me service this book. Everyone's held and accountable to their job. The service team is held accountable to cross-selling. I would say that 70% of my business comes from internet leads, and I spend, over the last few months since that Oregon acquisition, I spend about anywhere from $20,000 to $22,000 a month on data leads. And then I have my telemarketers calling on all that data, and they're getting transfers over, and they're transferring it over to my sales team, who is in turn quoting these leads and then following our process and closing as much business as possible. I hold my team, my salespeople, my LSPs, accountable to quoting 8 households a day. They need to hit a minimum of our minimum is 30 items. If they go back-to-back months under 30 items, then that will mean that we will, write them up, and if they continue to fall below that 30 item mark, they will get terminated. And we're constantly training and coaching, and we're providing enough resources for them to be successful. But as this just isn't for everybody, and so you need to constantly look for the right people to add to your team. So I want to give you that context because a lot of times you see people posting these numbers and you don't know the context of what's going on behind the scenes. Like, it legitimately takes a lot of marketing, training, coaching, development, sales processes, accountability, a fun, dope culture to put up these numbers. It just doesn't happen overnight. And so depending on where you're at in your journey, you don't want to compare, because there's so much that you don't know about, and in my case, I've been at this for 7 years. I've given 1,000,000% to this, right? So like I said, we spend about 70% of 70% of our business is internet leads. The other 30% is a cross between partnerships, social media, personal referrals, customer referrals, cross sales, and that's how our breakdown of what we write. That's what our breakdown is. And so, if you are not buying leads, then I recommend it. I think in this at the time of this recording in 2023, the industry is being shaken up, and every company is taking rate increases. And so if you're not buying leads and have nice, strong processes behind them, you're going to miss out on a lot of opportunities. There's a big shift happening where it's not every year that every company is taking massive rates, causing people to shop more than ever before. And so that's something I would tell you. Now that I've given you some of the context on how we're doing what we're doing and what that looks like, I just want to give you 3 tips. 3 tips that you can take away and hopefully help you in your journey of writing more business and scaling your insurance agency. So what I would say is, and I wanted to ask my ops manager and my sales manager for these tips, because I didn't want to come up with them myself, because they're on the front lines. We've fortunately have built this into a well-oiled machine, and with little involvement of myself, and I'm super grateful for that. My team is just amazing. The culture we've built here, the managers that have the way they've developed, the accountability, the fun that we have. Man, I could tear up talking about it. I'm just so grateful for it. So I asked them, and they said, I asked them for 3 things. Like, what are 3 things? And the first thing I would tell you is to, one, don't underestimate the power of culture and having a fun work environment. Now, I'm a firm believer in not having just all fun and all fun and games. There needs to be accountability, but you've got to have fun, right? I installed surround sound in the entire office to play music. I buy my team snacks. We're all in this chat, and anytime someone gets a sale, everyone's going crazy, and we just have a lot of fun with it. On the sales floor, I purchased this big TV where the team could see where they're at all times. So just the recognition, the shout outs, the fun, the team outings, the before we start our meetings, I ask for a moment of gratitude, daily accountability and sales training and listening to calls. Don't underestimate the power of all that and how it snowballs into having these great months. This is 7 years in the making, and it's really cool to see my managers take it and run with it. And so that's amazing. So don't underestimate the power of culture and a fun work environment. You got to have fun. You got to make it about your team. You got to know about their goals and hold them accountable to their goals, and the agency goals will inevitably be met. Number 2 is stick to the basics, the fundamentals, right? So you probably have people that have been with you for a while, and sometimes when they start struggling, they've lost sight of the basics, the fundamentals. And which brings me to this thought. I did make another video on common pitfalls of insurance producers and LSPs, and so I'll link it right here so that way you can tune into it. But sticking to the basics and the fundamentals. So sometimes if your team is having a bad month, then they lose sight of the fundamentals. They stop building rapport. They ignore the sales process. They just start giving the price and not even fighting for the sale or asking for the sale. These little things that our producers get away from, and you won't know unless you're listening to these calls and finding out where they're ignoring the fundamentals and they're not sticking to the basics. And so that is number two. You know, help your team stick to the process. Like, stick to the process. You know, for us, I know if we're quoting X amount, we're gonna see a result, right? And so if we're quoting a whole lot and you're not seeing a result, then that means there's a huge training opportunity and that you need to spend some time with your producers to figure out what's going on. And then lastly, I'll tell you guys this, is the third tip is always be hiring, and that you never know when that next hire can be your top producer, okay? Another thing that we've done to write this much business is I made it a focus to bring in Spanish speakers. I want more Spanish speakers. We've always had one. I've had a Spanish-speaking telemarketer and a Spanish-speaker LSP producer, and I wanted to make it a focus to hire more, and we did just that. So now our team consists of 3 Spanish-speaking LSPs, producers, and 1 telemarketer. And the reason for that is I started another business where I'm generating Spanish leads, and it's crushing it for our agency. Out of the 70% of this 750 items, 30% of that is coming from these Spanish leads. So if you are interested in testing out these leads, I would love to help you. So a shameless plug there. If you need help with Spanish leads, let me know. You can send me an email or comment on this video and we can talk. But always be hiring, because you never know when that new producer can be your top producer. And I say that because a lot of times when we hire people, we think that it takes this ramp up period for someone to become a top performer, and it really doesn't take that long. I can give you an example. The 2 Spanish-speaking girls that I brought to my team, they have quickly made their way to the top of the ranks. One of which, who's in only her 4th month, has become our top producer. Over the last 3 months, she's become our top producer. And she didn't come from sales, right? As a matter of fact, I thought she was just gonna be just a service producer. Like, I didn't think that I thought that we'll try her out for sales, and if it fails, we can put her into service. And that's not the case. She's become one of our top producers here. Same with the other one as well. They have quickly both become 2 of my top 4 producers, I believe. So new people, it doesn't take a ramp up period. They can quickly become one of your top people if you train and coach them right and teach them the right habits and expectations from day one. And so as you are hiring, always be hiring. You know, if you follow my channel, you've heard me say this before, you gotta always be hiring and looking for the right people, because you never know when you're gonna lose somebody on your team. So with that being said, that is a little bit of our agency for the last couple months. The last time I did a video like this, I think we were only writing 150 to 200 items, and now we're writing, we had a 400 item month, and we're writing 250K consistently now, and this is a little bit of how it's been able to happen. So if you got some value, you know what to do. Comment, like, share, follow me on all my social media platforms. Thank you for watching. Peace.